Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we are going to dive into the meat of the actual React code finally. So what we're going to do is we're looking at the app.js file. As I mentioned, the app.js file, if you think back to our index.js file, we were importing app from this .app file. So app here is actually the app.js. And what app.js is it represents our entire React application. So we're going to dive deep into how this one file doesn't actually contain the entire application as we build it out. It's just that right now, this is the main bulk of what the application represents. Because the application is very simple. It's pretty much just this part of the website. So if you look at it, all it is with React is that we are importing the logo, which is the logo.svg. And we are also importing our app.css file. So this is also generated for us, and it's what makes the logo spin and gives the background color and then makes these the certain sizes that they are. That's all this CSS that's listed in here. So by importing it, we're saying, oh, I want you to apply the CSS. So that's being applied to this website now. Here, you'll notice that there is this function. And this is very important because in React is pretty much just using functions to return HTML. That's all it is. This code is just some generic function called app that returns you this specific HTML that represents this function of app. And you can see this app function as a component. So what is a component? A component is pretty much a self-contained piece of code that returns some visual UI representation of HTML. UI being this thing that we can see and interact with. Now, as we know with websites, anything we interact with is a combination of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So this is no different here. It's just that all of this is contained within this function. So inside of here, if you look at this is pretty much just basic HTML. We have a div, we have a header, we have an image, and this image is being passed the source of our logo. So our logo, SVG, which is just this icon that is spinning. And this image is being rendered inside of this header HTML component. And then there's some p tag here with some text inside. And then there's an anchor tag that points to learn React. Very simple HTML. And this function is essentially returning this HTML. So that's really all that's happening is that inside of index.js, React is just saying, oh, I want you to render this app. And here, this looks like an HTML tag. And the reason for that is because using React DOM, we're saying, oh, okay, this HTML tag is some function code that will return us more HTML, which is exactly what app.js is. It's returning us HTML code. So what we're looking at here is really just the HTML that's being rendered on the page. And if we update this, let's say I update this p tag to say, hello, my name is Yihua. If I save this, now if I go back here, again, Create React App is just rebuilding and it is updating this text now to say, hello, my name is Yihua. You saw it's pretty automatic. But here, what we're just seeing is that that's really all React is, really. It's just code, so a function or a class, which we'll learn about later, that returns us back HTML. That's really all React is, if you really want to think about the very bare bones of React. It's just these helper functions that help us return HTML. So it allows us to build websites and these UI in a very efficient, componentized way. Components, once again, being the self-contained representations of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So this is really all that's happening here. So with that, you pretty much understand actually all that React app has given us. Some of the more nuanced things that go on, such as tests and the progressive web app stuff, we'll explain later. But as far as the main bulk of what we're going to work on, when we start converting this Create React App application over to the Monster Rolodex project, is just going to be around writing these functions or these classes that return us back HTML. And that's all it is. So now that you understand what Create React App does, there is one caveat I must mention before moving forward. So a lot of the videos were done using an older version of Create React App. Right now, I'm actually speaking to you in the present with the latest version of Create React App. So when you go through, you'll notice that some of these files are slightly different, but honestly, it's so insignificant. It's pretty much all the exact same. It's just that a couple things have been tweaked and the placements are a little different, but all the concepts you learn and everything that you see is going to largely remain the same. So definitely don't get scared if you see it. Just understand that all the core concepts that you have are already now fully explained as to what Create React App is doing. The older versions were doing the exact same thing. It's just that Create React App and Facebook like to change the way that they build things every once in a while. Not necessarily because it's more optimized, but sometimes just because they want to introduce some things or remove some things, but nothing is that significant. 99% of everything is largely the exact same. So now that you understand this, let's start actually building out our Monsters Rolodex project and getting really into the meat of our React application. So before we start doing that, once again, Andre is going to just quickly dive into why you should not eject by showing you what happens when you eject. Once again, this is just a better understanding of what it is that our code is doing. But here, again, you understand that all React is just functions that return HTML. That's really all it is. So with that, let's move to the next video.